Well, good morning, good morning. There's the Casper. I'm Harry Morgan Moses. We're going to start Coffee with Casper in about 2 minutes. We got moved inside. We're setting up our little studio outside, and the rain, not rain, but wet, sort of sprinkly wet outside. So we came inside today. I'm Harry, this is Casper, and you're about to spend 20 minutes with us on Coffee with Casper. And if you're one of those people who catches the shorter snippets as we post them as the week goes on, we'll see you there too. So we're glad you're here. We're on YouTube and Facebook. And here's our time to remember what we know, remember how we're connected, remember how important it is to do the connecting. There we go. Very good. We got natural light inside. I tried turning the lights on and it's not working right, so we're just going, hey, Pam, nice to see you this morning. Pam Frasca, the wise woman from Napa. Glad you are here with us. Let me know where you are, where you're checking in from. Sometimes I can see your name, sometimes I can't. It just depends. And Casper just is anxious to be with you. He just keeps coming on up. We're glad you're here. Post in Facebook so I can see. All right, nice to have you with us. All right, you need to get down, big boy. We're going to gong ourselves in. Here we go. All righty, we're going to start. We're going to take 2 big, deep breaths in. I shaved myself. Apparently, it got a little rough this morning. Okay. Here we go. It's 8:30. Let's take a big deep breath in. We're going to let out the sound like that kind of release. So we're going to take a big deep breath in. Relaxing the shoulders. Oh yeah. All right. Another big deep breath in. We're going to relax the shoulders. And we know the gong is just to remind us that we're all creating a sound. So the Buddhists say, out of your thoughts arise the world. So we're all creating a tone with the total of our awareness. And that tone is vibrating into what's called the law of mind or the law of circle. That which comes from me returns to me. And it returns to me as the multi-dimensional aspects of my experience. And what we're seeking to learn here in this lifetime, or probably any lifetime, is to grow deeper into our awareness of who and what we really are. We are, as Roy Eugene Davis, the wonderful teacher, says, I am an immortal spiritual being, superior to my mind, to my body, and to my experience. Now, what that means is that what the Bible calls dominions, human beings have dominion, that dominion, or that of able to affect the circumstances of my life, is happening to each and every soul. Because each and every soul is part of the I am that I am. You remember that great quote from Emmett Fox in his book, Find Your Inner Power. And that's really what our time together is about. It's about finding your inner power. There's Tricia Klink from Moore Park. Carol from Whittier, nice to see you. There's Aloha, our wise woman from the island. We got a few folks out there in the island to check in. We're glad you're here. We're glad to have you with us. So find your inner power is really what we're talking about. The quote that we're talking about from Emmett Fox is, your real self is the presence within you. So that's what we call the I am presence. And remember last week we talked about Ernest Holmes' wonderful quote, the great philosopher from the last century, that we are born to have fun living. And that ties into Teilhard de Desjardins, who said, joy is the infallible sign of the presence of God. So how in the midst of all of the chaos in the world, and we would label that chaos as war, which is an ancient idea, one against the other. Martin Luther King said a long time ago, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth leaves everyone blind and people unable to chew. So that old school idea of retaliation and us against them and you against me, or one race is better than the other, prejudice, fear, doubt, war, uh, fear of flight, all of those things are lower instincts. They're in the human personal self. They're not part of the I am. The I am consciousness, your true and eternal nature, as Meister Eckhart says, is directing the senses and at the same time aware of its wholeness with the universe, aware of the interconnection of all things. And really, when we get down to it, here on Coffee with Casper, our time together is people who are aware there is one life. That life is energy everywhere present. Energy is not destructible. It changes form. And we are part of that one life, and we are a divine idea, an immortal idea inside of that one life. Meaning, I am that life. So I'm not just an idea. I am the life of the thing itself. I am the life of energy itself. I'm the life of Source itself. Now, Source is infinitely bigger than me, and my awareness will expand in accord with my inner power, in accord with connecting to the inner power within me, to commune with the presence that is within and around me, and to begin to know that presence is with you, even when you appear to be alone, right? You are never alone because you are one with the presence. Therefore, you are one with the whole cosmos. Now, according to the law of circle, whatever's vibrating from you will come back to you as your experience. So as Ralph Waldo Emerson said, if you want a friend, be a friend. If you want love, be love. If you want freedom, live in freedom, give freedom, share freedom. If you want equality, see everyone as the beloved of the Most High. Race, color, creed, way of being, country, it doesn't matter. Continent, it doesn't matter. Today is a huge Muslim holiday, and again, we can find in every tradition the sameness, not the differentness. And everyone says there's one power, one God, one truth. So whether we are bound by a particular Bible or we're bound by the universal laws of each and every one is equal, one humanity, one life, one soul, one being, individualized as you and me. And of course, I hope you love the individualization of you and me. Last week, Stephen Colbert finished his show, and he spoke very much about the connection with others and being able to bring that connection forward in his show, in his broadcast, and in their planning. And it's the same thing we're doing in Coffee with Casper, not nearly as elaborate as the Tonight Show or the Late Show, but it's now the late show. But we are all gathering together to remind ourselves that we're connected, that we're belonging. Good morning, Carol from Whittier. Nice to see you. Good morning, Arlen from San Clemente. Look at all these wonderful, wise souls we have gathered. Here's Susie Shadle. Oh, my God, the Reverend Doc Susie Shadle herself is here. Very wonderful. Nice to have everybody here. So here's where I wanted us to focus, to put our attention. We'll be back next week on Coffee with Casper. We usually do 4 or 5 in a row and then take a week off and run some of the skippets or replay some of the shows. But today's a good day, the day after Memorial Day in our country, the unofficial start of summer. This is a good time to get our springtime consciousness to come forward into the joys of the harvest of summer, the joys of the infinite givingness of the planet to all of us who tune into it and see the beauty of a mango, the power of a pineapple, the gorgeousness in a fresh salad, you name it. I mean, there are so many wonderful signs of the summer which is coming. And so now is the time to, if we've been having a fretful winter or a fretful spring, or we're overly concerned about the challenges in the world, and I'm not saying don't be concerned about the challenges of the world, I'm saying you need to establish your own consciousness, and you need to live by heaven's first law, which is the law of harmony. And in order to do that, you need to immerse yourself in the reality of only one power, one life, one truth, belonging to all living sentient beings, right? And I am that power. Now, in the evolutionary scale, I have become self-conscious, aware of myself, which now means I can direct the law of the circle because of my unity with the law of the circle. Here is the master teacher said, it is not me, that the Father within me that does the work. Remember, it is not me that does the great work of the law of the circle or the law of mind. It is my faith in the law of mind that enables me to separate myself from the fears, the doubts, the prejudices, and the hate that is in the world. Because hate will never serve anyone anywhere, because we live in a universe whose impulsion is love. So how can I get back to love? And I've shared with those of you who've been watching over the years, Coffee with Casper, what you know is there's something that my wife and I taught our children. And my wife is really the leader and was really the lead player in this, was we taught them this affirmation. And we've now been able to teach grandchildren this affirmation and remind our adult children as they're facing the big challenges of raising a family and continuing in their careers and doing their work. And this was the affirmation that we taught. White light covers and surrounds me, and nothing but good can come to me. So if I'm establishing the vibration of my living in a field of divine protection, then the only thing I can be afraid of is if that field were to leave me. And it will not leave you, because it is connected to you through your faith, right? So really the major chore in anyone's life is to deepen their reality that their true nature is this I am presence, and therefore to develop a practice, a spiritual practice of meditating on the I am presence, quieting the mind, being still, and letting the larger I am move in me and as me and through me by connecting. I know there is one power. That was the great gift that Ernest Holmes gave to all humanity, which is what he called spiritual mind treatment, which is the steps in affirmative prayer, right? And that those first two steps, which we talk about here all the time, is really the key. Those steps are the keys to the kingdom. And the first step is recognizing there's only one power. It is in, through, and as everything. Anything that has energy in it, which is everything from the mineral to the plant to the animal to the conscious mind to the superconscious mind, everything has its relationship in the one, as the one, with the one. The difference is we have, hey, good morning, Ledge, from El Segundo. We have risen to the point in our awareness where we can see and feel and call forth our connection in the infinite. So those two steps are one power, one life, one energy, one intelligence, and the second step is identifying with that intelligence. And that power, that life, that intelligence, that source is in me now. And not only is it in me now, as me now. So you go back to Emmett Fox's line, find your inner power. Your real self is the presence within you. Whoa. And white light covers and surrounds me. So it doesn't mean everybody else around me is aware of the power or the presence of peace, the power or the presence of love, the power or the presence of the law of mind or the law of the circle, and how it is transcendent of the physical world, because the physical world is not cause to itself. The physical world is born out of consciousness. The sum total of what is known is. The sum total of what is known in the race mind is. However, so much of the race still believes and brings into its own sphere of existence a belief in two powers, a power for good and a power for evil. There's only one power. The question is, how are you, as a self-conscious being, using that power? Are you using it as a power for good? And if so, that power for good will multiply. If you're using it as a power against itself, then that power, called the law of karma or the law of mind or the law of the circle, that bad energy that you put forth, which we call bad karma, will one day absolutely hit you, because there is no escaping the idea that what you plant in mind, seed, soil, and plant, what you plant in mind in the soil will return to you. So again, you come back to Ralph Waldo Emerson. If you want a friend, be a friend. If you want love, be the presence of love. If you want peace, practice peace. And then, therefore, you'll be a transformative power when you walk into a room. Good morning, another Patrick, another great mind from the islands. Hey, Patrick, nice to have you with us. The great Reverend Dr. Patrick is with us. That's so nice to have so many. See, this is what we're doing. We're just connecting in the field, reminding ourselves what we already know, and then maybe out of these 20 minutes, finding a snippet, an idea that I can focus on. Ooh, I'm getting bumps. That I can focus on to bring the law of attraction, meaning look at all the wonderful people we're attracting on Coffee with Casper, all these wise souls, not surrendering their wisdom, but rather sharing their wisdom in the vibrational field that we all are. We are all vibrating together. Birds of a feather flock together. We are walking metaphysicians on the planet, knowing that the physical is not caused to itself, and nor is the physical limited by itself. I am an immortal spiritual being, and I have the right to call forth the absolute power of the absolute one in my life as my life through spiritual law, which means if it's going to come to me, it has to come through me. So I have to be the place, we've talked, I love the Gandhi's line, this Gandhi's photo painting behind me. Gandhi's the one that says, be the change you want to see in the world. And I say, you have to see that change. You have to see it first. You have to consciously know that peace can live on this planet, that peace will guide the planet and love is steering the stars, and I am an usher of the new awakening in humanity. What will happen? When will we see it change in the physical world? And we already know that. And that's when we hit critical mass. And I believe that right now on the planet, there are more consciously aware people than there have ever been before. So Coffee with Casper is just one avenue through which consciously aware people are seeking to connect with one another, remind themselves what they know, and help one another call each other up. So if I begin to know that white light covers and surrounds me, and nothing but good can come to me, then I don't have to read the paper and read about the poor decisions being made by people. Hey, there's Ford. Nice to see you, Ford. Was back in California visiting for family. Nice to have everybody with us today. So we must be that. We must see the change. We must see the possibility of a greater good, while at the same time knowing white light covers and surrounds me, and nothing but good can come to me, regardless of the decisions of other people. I must be the transcendent force that walks into the room, that walks into a dark room of any kind and brings the light, right? Anyone can light a candle, but not the way that you do, right? We are individualized expressions of the one, and each one of us has a way to carry that higher vibration, that deeper love, that more profound good into our lives. And it begins by the way that we greet the day. And I love that song by Joe Sebastian that we played snippets of a few weeks ago, where I asked you to go find it on the internet, where he says, greet every day like the morning knows your name, right? That you need to live and laugh and love. The more your vibration is high and positive, the greater good that comes into your life. So we cannot. That goes back to the Hoagie Carmichael song from the 40s, right? Accentuate at the positive, eliminate the negative, and don't mess around in the gray areas in between. You can't bounce back and forth between fear and faith and believe that you're going to have omnipotent faith. No, you have to knock on the door of that faith and ask and seek and knock for the awareness that you're seeking. Ask and seek and knock that the wholeness that is your true and eternal nature shall be revealed in your mind, in your body, and in your experience. I must be the conscious place that is daily courting that presence, inviting that presence, acknowledging that presence. And when we see the good coming into our lives, multiplying that good by giving praise and thanksgiving. I have lived with a hot tub in my life for most of my life, certainly most all of my adult life. Sometimes in a house that didn't have it yet or whatever. But man, I'll drop into that hot water in the morning, and I just can't. I just go, God, thank you, thank you, thank you. It was a dream of mine to be able to wake up and drop into hot water in the morning. Oh my God. And I'm so blessed I get to do it so often. Now, baubles and toys and pleasantries all around you are lovely, but they're not the source of your good. You're the source of your good because the I am is the source of your good, and you're drawing it into your life. We were born to have fun living, to consciously commune, and it's that consciously communing that is going to bring the greater good into our lives. So I hope you had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. I hope you know that that's the unofficial start of summer, and you may as well use it to bring in your summer harvest. All the good that's yet ahead, all the transcendent love that you can offer into the world, all the solutions you can call upon the law of mind. I know that the greater good is coming. Good and more good is mine. We are wonderful. You are wonderful. We are wonderful. What we are doing in the world is fulfilling our commitment on an eternal journey to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence, so the long time prayer of peace on earth and goodwill to humanity and the earth shall be fulfilled. I'm Harry Morgan Moses. If you found anything valuable in these 20 minutes together, share the video. Find it on LinkedIn, go to your groups, go to YouTube. We have it on YouTube. Share the address, invite people to see it, look at the snippets, share them on your sites. We have a way to connect now in the cyber world to bring us stronger and stronger and clearer as a greater good is coming into the world through each of us and all of us collectively. And thank God there are more awakening people on the planet than there have ever been before. This is the time to change the world. Who you are is something magnificent. And until we meet again, we'll be back next week on Coffee with Casper. And until we meet again, we invite you to go in the light, as the light and with the light. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you on your way. I'm Harry. This is Casper. We'll see you next week on Coffee with Casper. Have a great and wonderful week. Happy dawn of a new time. Bye for now.